Day 3 of League of Legends at the IGN Pro League of Legends tournament here at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. I'm so excited to have you in the crowd. You are the best crowd on the internet, according to Reddit, so round of applause for you guys. They love your signs, they love your enthusiasm, and we're really enjoying it up here. I want to thank our sponsors, AMD, Astro, Twitch, Kingston HyperX, Gunner, Playhem, and of course Riot, who has really come out in support of this tournament. I want to invite on stage with me, this is Matt Marcoux. He is the esports director at Riot. He makes sure all these things are possible, and he's going to be doing the coin toss for our two first teams today. CLG, which side are you on? If you would please join me on the stage, and Dignitas. They're actually transferring behind me. This is a secret hallway back here. But while we're up here, Matt, I just want to say thank you. You know, I've seen you a number of times in the esports scene, and when you got the job at Riot in the esports division, I was so excited because I knew they'd be going excellent places. So gentlemen, if you'd please join me on stage. Dignitas, CLG. But don't shake hands just yet. Stop right here. Stop right here. Matt Marcoux, if you would be so kind. Skara, would you like heads or tails?
We'll take tails.
They're going to take tails on the esteemed Pikachu coin. One side Pikachu, other side Pokemon.
You said tails? Yeah, call tails. Really, Matt?
That's what.
Heads.
It's heads. Gentlemen, would you like blue or purple? Blue. They're going to go with blue. All right, guys, shake hands. Let's get these games underway. Thank you so much, Matt Marcoux. Hat person, Red Baron, take it away.
Great. Are you guys ready? Day 3. It's a big one. Dignitas CLG.
Yeah, it's going to be intense. We saw earlier with this matchup, CLG almost 2-0ing Dignitas when they met earlier. They did have Nidalee in that first game, some really effective play. Game number 2, they had the early lead, couldn't fulfill it. It was against that magical comp that we've seen from Dignitas. Yep. We'll see whether or not they ban out, that comp, ban out Lulu, maybe ban out Soraka. I think the personalities of CLG, though, it's very likely that game 1, they'll let it ride, see if they can take an early advantage, see if they can get a really aggressive win. If they lose game number 1 to that same comp, then we'll see in game number 2, game number 3, maybe them banning that out some.
Well, I mean, it looks very likely that we will be seeing a Lulu ban. We'll probably be seeing the Soraka ban as well. But you know what? Nidalee, Shen, also very big contenders, here, and we've also seen a lot of Kog'Maw this entire weekend as well.
Yeah, Kog'Maw, I don't know the exact win percentage on Kog'Maw, but it's absolutely astounding. I was looking at some of the Reddit win percentages earlier today, and some of the champions, Shyvana is 7 for 7 so far this tournament. So, just a really strong, aggressive jungler, has great map control with the movement speed. So that's kind of an interesting match. Mundo doing pretty well. Lots of kind of surprises. Janna is still 100%, even after those nerfs that we saw to her. It hurt her laning phase some, but her team fight control is still spectacular. Provides so much utility support, particularly for Kog'Maw. She works very well with that heavy AD carry.
So I mean, we also have some other bans being talked about here. Like for the past 3 games, Olaf, Udyr, Shen, and Ryze banned every single time. And we've been seeing quite a bit of Olaf as well. The true damage top lane is amazing. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I would probably expect against CLG we will see the Shen ban. He was nerfed some. You can leave him in, but Hotshot GG, just fantastic Shen play this tournament. It allows him to be extremely aggressive in that top lane, and that's going to be really key. CLG, they like that split pushing strategy. Shen goes perfectly with that. So he's really the perfect pairing for them. I don't expect that Dignitas will allow it, but it should be an interesting match to watch.
My top lane is definitely going to be the area to watch. 40% of CLG's kills total have all been top lane ganks. It's been major top lane play this entire weekend.
Yeah, that's absolutely astounding, and I think a lot of Dignitas' play also comes from Voyboy and how he does in the top lane. He has a very high risk-reward style. He's extremely aggressive in the top lane, particularly on Lee Sin. You see him getting very low on energy. He likes using his shield for harass, which makes him a very strong laner, but it also kind of baits him into dangerous situations against aggressive ganking junglers like Nocturne. We've seen Voyboy maybe falling behind early, then they can repeatedly gank that top lane, push him further and further behind. So Voyboy, if he gets off to a strong start, then Dignitas throughout this tournament has just been fantastic. And we saw in Hanover, Voyboy's Lee Sin just extremely powerful. But if he does get off to that poor start, if they repeatedly gank that top lane, particularly since CLG has that penchant for aggression in that top lane, that could be really dangerous. And we've seen, Shen and Irelia, both from Hotshot, being extremely aggressive with those ganking, that ganking presence, able to bait in the enemy and then come in for the stun.
So I mean, we do have the top picks overall throughout this entire tournament: Janna, Mundo, and Kog'Maw. We've had quite a bit of success with all three of those champs. Top bans throughout the entire tournament: Udyr, Shen, Ryze, and also we've been seeing a lot of Karthus bans as well. So I know also last night, we've been kind of hoping that we'd see a little bit of something from Dignitas, specifically Scar, because we were trolled a little bit last night. We almost had the Katarina. I know we've had some guys with signs earlier this weekend. They want to see the Mordekaiser. I'd like to see the Mordekaiser as well. I'd love to see that.
Mordekaiser definitely works with Dignitas' play style. They like playing those champions that can just really control lane very effectively. Mordekaiser farms extremely effectively. It's kind of an easy champ from that perspective, but he is susceptible to ganks early on if you have that ganking pressure. Once he gets going, he's such a presence in the team fights, but we are in champ select, and right off the bat, we see CLG banning out Lulu and Soraka, so not going to allow it to happen. They are like, we are done with it, Dignitas. We are tired of your shenanigans.
I mean, as much as I love that, it's like triple support. Who knew? Who knew? But Udyr and Shen also being banned out by Dignitas. Ryze going to be the last ban for CLG. So, and we still have more options for top lane. Aurelia, Lee Sin, Udyr's got Nidalee gone, so we're not going to have the hotshot Nidalee GG.
Here's the issue, though. Lee Sin is available. I would expect CLG will probably take Lee Sin right here. Definitely is a strong pick, and Hotshot, which champions is he going to play? We had 3 top champions that are favorites of Hotshot picked up. If he wanted to play Aurelia, we saw really fantastic Aurelia play against V8, I believe. But if he goes Aurelia, then we do have a really aggressive play from Voyboy, particularly if Voyboy has Lee Sin. Lee Sin versus Aurelia, since Aurelia doesn't have the same sustain that she used to, that could be kind of a dangerous matchup for Hotshot.
But we're going to go ahead and play it safe. CLG first pick, they're going to grab the Janna, make sure they can secure it for themselves. Number 1 pick this weekend, fantastic kit. You got the shield, got the tornado, got slow, got the ultimate. You got everything you need. Works wonderful with a very aggressive bot lane. So we'll see where that goes.
It works with a number of comps. That's the big thing. If we've seen a lot of these tanky comps protect the Uber carry. We've seen Cog is a hyper carry, Vayne doing that same kind of thing. So if we have those kind of protect comps, then Janna works with that perfectly. I'm really curious. We have Cog and Urgot both available, so it'll be interesting to see whether we see Urgot played as a counter to Cog. You can definitely run an extremely aggressive team with lots of disables. We've seen it with TSM Dignitas last night. Whoever had Urgot actually winning those matches with that aggressive kind of play.
Yeah. I mean, we got the Kog'Maw being locked in and Mundo. So there you go. The top 3 picks of this tournament are all right up front. And want let everyone know that this is a rematch. CLG 1-2. Against Dignitas right now, and we have Shyvana being picked for CLG with that 100% win rate. That's gonna mean a lot. So we may see some very aggressive counter jungling coming in from CLG going into here.
Yeah, both junglers are actually very strong counter junglers. They're both very safe picks. It would be very difficult for Shyvana to counter jungle Mundo because he is running exhaust. We'll see. St. Vish is probably going to run exhaust as well. Shyvana does have that movement speed, so it's really going to depend on where their vision is. If they recognize that the other jungler is somewhere ganking top, maybe then you see that aggressive play towards Dragon or see them stealing the blue. But just heads up, a lot of it's going to depend on the mid lane and how aggressive mid lane is for protecting the jungle and how well they ward the entrances.
Anivia being considered for CLG, and we've been seeing a little bit of Anivia as well. I mean, wonderful. You got the walls, you got the stun, you got everything you need. And it's wonderful wave clearing capabilities with Anivia as well. With the ultimate, you just walk up to a wave, it's gone.
Yeah, Anivia has definitely been played to a great extent in this tournament. Big Fat definitely well known for his Anivia. When you have manaless junglers who are very fast clearers, like Shyvana, like Mundo, it allows you to give the blue buff that much easier. You don't have to worry so much about invasion because you know you can take it extremely quickly. And so it does allow that matchup. But Karthus for Voyboy, actually, that's kind of interesting because Karthus and Cog are both hyper carries, and as they get further and further into the game, we have the AoE from Karthus, and then we have Cog with the follow-up going to be cleaning up those fights. So it's definitely going to be key for CLG to kind of take an advantage early, depending on their next two picks.
And we've also seen a lot of duels bot lane, people barely getting away from the Kog'Maw artillery shot. And it's just like, oh, I wish I had a Karthus ult. I wish I had a Karthus ult, but there it is. And you know what? The CLG banned out Soraka, so they can't even pick it for themselves to try and counteract some of that global damage with the Wish.
Yeah, and the aggressive support with Taric, Janna doesn't have the heal in lane, so we will see a lot of aggression with Cog's harass, with the Taric stun, and actually we see Hotshot going with Cho'Gath. He has been played one time this tournament. They actually won the game the one time that Cho'Gath was played, and I don't know, it should be interesting to see how this works with this team comp. We definitely have lots of upfront disables with Anivia, with Cho'Gath to protect Double Lift as his favorite champion, Vayne.
Not to mention, so we have Vayne, Janna, wonderful. Oh, wait.
Wow. So
I'm not sure if we're being trolled. I'm not sure if we're being trolled yet. We'll have to check.
But I could definitely see this pick. We'll have to see whether or not Voyboy feels that Fiora is enough of a carry. But against Cho'Gath was always kind of known for his lane sustain. He gets kind of effective harass, but I would think that Fiora would be able to turn that into a free farm lane. And so free farm Fiora is definitely a threat late game, particularly when you have someone like Vayne. Fiora can act as that assassin kind of champion, but Jax, actually even better. Jax can definitely farm against Cho'Gath, will be a serious threat as the game continues. And now we have 3 hyper carries for Dignitas, Karthus, Kog'Maw, and Jax is definitely going to be extremely tanky as well with the changes to him.
And I believe it's going to be his second appearance this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, and he did win. It was actually a jungle Jax. I can't remember the team, but that was a win curse.
It was curse.
So, yeah, it should be definitely interesting. We have a lot of burst damage, with Double Lift. But at the same time, Taric is just such a strong laner. Kog'Maw has enough range, has enough damage that's going to be a really difficult lane for CLG. They're going to want to be safe, try and turn that into a free farm lane. And then top lane, we do see Voyboy taking the teleport to counter out Hotshot's teleport. That's kind of expected when you're running Cho'Gath, that you'll look for that early game advantage. So with the Karthus ultimate and with the teleport on Jax, we're definitely going to see a lot of aggression bottom centered around Dragon. See if we can get that going.
And we've seen a lot of play also from Dignitas. Mundo has been pretty important for a lot of teams throughout this entire weekend. He's right out in front, being the damage soak, allowing the rest of his team to get all the shots they need. And you know what? He's going to be a wonderful shield for Karthus, for Kog'Maw, to get in all the layways, to get in all the artillery shots that they need to take these team fights.
And now here's the thing. We were talking about that top lane, Voyboy taking Ghost instead of Flash. So with his survivability, Cho'Gath has a lot of burst damage, but it's going to be difficult for him to hit that Rupture. Jax is going to be, very safe in that lane, generally speaking. Shyvana can come up, chunk him a little bit, but we've seen, Voyboy juking, jumping to creeps. That's what we're going to see. He should be pretty safe in that lane. And if Voyboy can get through those levels, get through that farm without, giving up any kills, then that's really going to be their favor. It's not the most aggressive top lane for CLG to kind of try and shut down Voyboy.
But, Jax's Leap Strike works very similar to Lee Sin's Shield. Right to a minion, right to a ward, great escape mechanism, but running the Ghost, you have one less way to get away from those sticky situations, but he can also use that offensively. Once he gets 6, once he gets his passive, he can go ahead every 4th attack, just every time and just pursue if he needs that last bit of damage.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have a significant amount of damage. With the Karthus ult, it'll be interesting to see what kind of aggression we see from Dignitas. Once Karthus is level 6, it does kind of clear up fights for you very effectively. We do see a clairvoyance on Chouster currently, so that is going to protect against some aggression from Mundo. Doesn't want to get an early jungle advantage. If either of the junglers get any early kills, very quickly junglers kind of snowball. So that'll be something interesting to watch out for. But mid, Anivia's egg against Karthus. Karthus has the spam ability and the sustained damage. If they can egg Anivia, then Karthus can definitely kill her in the egg. And that's one of the issues. A lot of AP mid champions have nice burst, but they don't have the ability to take down Anivia's egg. Karthus does.
Also, we have to mention the great Cassiopeia play we saw the other day as well. Just that poison. I've never seen that before. It was so crazy yesterday. If you haven't watched it, do please when we're done with the day. But for now, we are loading on up into the game. Losers Finals, Dignitas CLG. We got the rematch. You guys ready? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be an intense match. It was, very close down to the wire last time. CLG playing at such a high level this tournament. CLG, Dignitas, and TSM all bringing out all the stops. TSM and, CLG having their ups and downs, but CLG coming from that Korean scene. Should be interesting to watch them in that tournament as well. But, definitely on top of their game right now. Anivia, a really aggressive champion, has just such great lane control. Anivia definitely has a lot of burst potential against Karthus, so Scar's going to want to have to watch out for that. And I think generally speaking, though, that lane's going to be kind of a free farm lane. They will both be very safe with farming. Karthus does have a range advantage, but I don't think until either of them get blue that we'll see too much aggressive pushing, which will maybe put them out of position.
And both champs in mid benefit greatly from having blue buff. And we may see some invasions to try and snag that early, but for now we are into the game. Blue corner, if you guys want to see CLG win this one, let me hear ya. And top corner, our returning champions from IPL4. If you want to see Dignitas take it all, let me hear ya. CLG wandering on up top river. Dignitas scattering just a little bit. We got a nice little point defense kind of, and pings going down around the red area, and CLG gathering up here in this top river bush.
Yeah, and already we see that both teams are expecting, wanting to take map control early. We see Janna warding their own red because they're planning the invade over on Mundo, so that it doesn't allow Mundo to come in. They will be aware of where Mundo is at any given point in time. But Tarek, on the other hand, Locust picking up that early pink ward and then 4 wards. So they will have a lot of safety in bottom lane, but the pink ward will allow them to take brush control against Janna and Vayne. And because of the advantage that Tarek has as that aggressive support, and Kog'Maw with that range advantage, coupled with the heal from Tarek, they will be able to use the bushes to their advantage and try and control that bottom lane.
Dignitas has a bunch of pings going in around the red. They have an idea. They know they haven't seen CLG down bot trying to go for the blue, so they have a sneaking suspicion they may be around the red, and you know what? They are correct.
Yeah, but you see Dignitas expecting the invade, so Kog'Maw holding up in the river, Scar was holding up mid, so they would see where CLG is coming, and just expecting that red's going to be gone, so we will see them come up. I'm pretty sure they're going to be giving Dominate his blue, just so that he can continue jungling at a fast speed, and yes, he is going to take it.
Now we do also see, both of these junglers, not very mana dependent. If they so choose, they could decide to pass it off to their mids. But Mundo does benefit from a little bit extra cooldown. You have the cleavers. Once he gets it, he does have the masochism as well, so a little bit extra damage output from him when he goes in for those ganks.
And it's also the fact that they suspected or
St.
probably
Vicious
knew, actually we see St. Vicious coming in. There's going to be a lot of damage with that red buff. The stun not going to hit, but we do have Scar's flash down. But we will see, because they recognized that CLG was going to counter jungle them early, they wanted to be able to get Mundo his level so he can, continue up at the same speed as St. Vicious.
Doublelift got caught a little bit by Locust, got the stun from behind through the Tribush, but Dignitas going to back off. They got the damage they wanted, so they're going to go ahead and play it safe just a little bit. Voyboy and Hotshot, we keep saying the top lane is going to be the lane to watch. Both teams very concerned about the top lane, and CLG, most of their kills coming from the top lane as well.
Yeah, and Hotshot taking that cloth armor, he knows that he needs to mitigate some of that damage. Jax is just so strong up front. We do have a lot of sustain on Cho'Gath, but if you can prevent him from coming up to the creeps, be very aggressive early on, which is what Jax likes to do, then you can take that advantage. But we see St. Vicious coming up here. Voyboy doesn't have anything to jump to currently, so St. Vicious going to be able to get some nice damage. There's actually the exhaust, and then the rupture followed up, so we might see the first blood, but the stun underneath the tower. Voyboy just barely not able to pick up that kill. If he had the ignite, he would have had it.
He's hungry, he wants it, he's in pursuit. St. Vicious, he's hiding in the bush. Voyboy, he knows he's there.
Yeah,
Hotshot
he definitely wants this kill.
Hotshot was trying to get the damage. Rupture misses, jukes it. St. Vicious trying to get away. Voyboy leaps in, but Big Fat LP is here to join. He's here to help. Voyboy, you're now in a 3v1. Can you get away from this? Going into the bush to try and juke CLG out. St. Vicious, he's in the bush. Will Voyboy be able to get in? The stun cannot hit Jax.
Dodging the Flash Frost last second. Fantastic play by Voyboy. And that's what we've seen. That really aggressive play by Voyboy, just barely making things happen, has great mechanics. But if that had been a kill, then very quickly we would see whether or not that lane falls behind. So really effective play there. He definitely needs some nice ward coverage now that he's a little bit low. Burn some of his summoners.
And while Anivia was top, this allowed Karthus to go ahead and push to tower. So Anivia lost out on a little bit of farm on that attempt. If the kill was gotten, it wouldn't mean a whole lot, but since Voyboy was able to get away, Anivia's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. 10 creeps, 14 creeps of a disadvantage. Yeah,
that's definitely key. You want to have that aggression, you want to have that team support, but if you're leaving the lane, then you can definitely fall a little bit behind. Anivia still has a lot of control over Karthus, but Karthus has the range where he can, just free farm there. And we do see Saint is taking his red now, so he will have kind of a continuous stream of reds here. We do have a lot of burst damage from Double Lift, so we'll have to see. Actually, he's going to condemn Lucas there, get some nice burst, but we'll have to see whether or not Saint comes down there. I expect not, with how survivable Tarek is. It'll be very difficult for Saint to engage in that lane.
Dominate, getting the cleaver in on Hotshot. He is exhausted. We got the fire. We got the AoE trying to finish off Hotshot as much as we can. He's getting very low. 140, 100 health. Cleaver and the leap strike finishes the job. Dominate, taking just enough damage for Jax to get in. First blood going to Dignitas.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge because Cho'Gath, like we said, needs to be able to sit up next to those creeps. Voyboy getting an early advantage is always key for Dignitas, whether or not he can get off to a good start. So we'll have to see where he goes with that, what kind of item builds he's doing. Right now he has some lifesteal. We'll see whether or not he's kind of going into that same old Gunblade Jax or maybe a Hex Drinker, a little bit more tankier against all this magic damage.
I mean, I do enjoy Gunblade Jax. That's the build I use. Sometimes, if I need to, I'll actually go Hex Drinker, but we don't see that. I mean, we see a little bit of magic damage from CLG, Anivia being the bulk of it. We may not see, we're probably not going to be able to see that.
There are actually a lot of magic damage. Shyvana, she's a physical jungler, but all of her abilities are actually magic damage. Her Q is physical, but she does have a decent amount of magic damage. Couple that with Cho'Gath and with Anivia. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I definitely think that we might see some early dragon control from CLG. Shyvana and Mundo are actually both pretty strong at taking dragon, but with the Janna shields, with the damage from Vayne, we might see that coupled with the control that Anivia has.
Voyboy now doing what he can to push Hot Shot, and Dignitas keeping the lane even. And now Dominate is looking at a little bit for his creep. So is St. Vicious. They're wandering to looking at where they should be going next.
Yeah, and Saint, we do have good ward coverage top lane, so, Voyboy will be pretty safe up there. But Saint actually coming in once again. Voyboy does see him, has plenty of time to get out of there. Not really the best gap closer for Shyvana. She has great movement speed, but without the hard CC, it can be kind of difficult. So you saw they really need that exhaust up for those ganks. But actually we see Locust coming in onto Double Lift here. There's the stun, but Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie, getting off a significant amount of damage. There's the exhaust onto Double Lift. He's actually going to cleanse it. Probably didn't need to use the cleanse, but getting a little excited, see if he could pick up that kill bottom.
And in the meantime, we got the blue going mid to Scar. He's going to be taking that back with him. He's going to have another extra bag of Skittles to go with him with those layawastes. And Big Fat wondering where he should be, just wandering around downriver, just checking it out. Voyboy still getting the harass on Hotshot top lane. He has a bit of advantage now, and he's just working as much as he can. Hotshot being pushed to tower, a little bit to harder farm, and we just do have a quick pause in a moment.
Yeah, and it should be pretty interesting to see how that lane kind of goes top. we do actually have one of the computers, should be back up shortly, but Voyboy, really aggressive with Jax, has that early advantage. It's going to be an extremely difficult lane for Hotshot. I'm kind of curious to see, when we start seeing some aggression from Dignitas. We saw Mundo coming up in that top lane, whether or not we continue to see that with Karthus, with the tankiness that Mundo and Jax have. If they have good vision of Shyvana, we might be able to see some, tower dives top. They could sit there alternating, tanking the turret, and then with Karthus, finish up that kill on Hotshot, see if they can continue to take an advantage in that top lane.
So I'm taking a look right now at Voyboy's items. We got the Vamp Scepter, and we also have the Sapphire Crystal, getting a little bit of extra mana. And I'm thinking of where he's going to be building with that. I think that might actually go into a Sheen.
For Jax?
For Jax. Possibly Trinity Force coming in from him.
Yeah, that's it should be interesting to see where that is. Sheen definitely increases his burst damage. Since Cho is kind of going to be kiting in and out of lane, Voyboy can just get up in his face, have that burst. I don't know, I'd be kind of curious to see whether or not it's more of a sustain item. It'll probably be a Sheen, though. That's probably the right call.
Because you have the proc from Sheen, you have Empower, and then you Leap Strike. That is a lot of burst for someone like Jax.
Yeah, definitely. And Jax, fairly low mana pool. He has enough to spam for a while, but if he wants to constantly spam his harass out and then still be very survivable in lane, having the nice larger mana pool definitely helps him out. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We do see Shyvana is building towards a Wriggles potentially. It might just be a Vamp Scepter to give her some lifesteal, but the Wriggles on Shyvana goes along with her role as a counter kind of jungler. It allows her to take buffs and dragon much more effectively, and could be indicative of early pressure from CLG.
So we also see the Catalyst going on to Karthus. So that's going to be going into a Rod of Ages, I assume, more than likely. Doran's Blades are starting to show up here. We got one already here on Kog'Maw. Not many Doran's items so far this game.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is the Catalyst on Karthus. Karthus wants to be that frontline tanks kind of champion, wants to survive a little bit more, be extremely aggressive, set Kog can be safe in the back line. And because we do have a number of short-range kind of champions for CLG, that Karthus wall, once again, is going to set up the fights very nicely for Dignitas. It'll be key for CLG to see if they can pick off anyone, particularly Kog'Maw or Karthus, in these fights. And I think, I don't know, you look at Kog'Maw, one of the best thing that we've seen this weekend is that Kog'Maw doesn't have to build those fast tanking, those fast damage items, can just go for something like a Phantom Dancer and has enough damage with his W that he can go a little bit more utility than other DPSers can and still be just as effective.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we actually, both of our AP mids, they have some pretty decent walls. So we have the Ice Wall from Anivia, we got the Wall Pain from Karthus. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
Well, it's kind of a difference in which how the walls are going to affect the teams. And so we do have Kog'Maw for Dignitas. If Kog'Maw gets walled off, that's it. CLG is going to win that fight unless Kog can get out of there. Does have the flash, of course. But if Kog is walled off, then that's done. But at the same time, Dignitas as a whole generally has long enough range. We do have long range with Karthus. Kog'Maw is extremely long range. Karthus is going to want to get up in that short range, get up in CLG's face. But I don't know that the Anivia wall is going to be as disruptive as the Karthus. It depends on if you can catch someone off. And that's what Anivia's wall is so strong at, catching someone off. At Dragon, you wall off the corridors coming in. You have that kind of advantage if you can split the team. But if Dignitas is organized and prepared for the wall, then it's not going to be as effective as you would like.
It's still amazing too if you have those chases in the jungle, very close quarters. Even just the level 1 wall can do so much if you get caught in a choke point like that. But Blue going to be going over to Big Fat, going to be taking that back with him to mid. We see a bot. They're backing off a little bit. CLG is going to be backing. They're going to go ahead and buy what is Vayne going to buy? We're going to get the tier 2 boots right there, extra attack speed on her. But it looks like Dignitas is actually going right around Dragon. They're actually going to start it. They RCV'd.
But it's going to be a free Dragon for Dignitas. They know that bot lane just had to recall, so effective play by Locust and I'm a Cutie Pie, forcing the lane to recall. Karthus is extremely fast at taking Dragon. Same with Cutie Pie. We'll see whether or not they go for aggressive Barons later in the game because they definitely have that clear speed. So, that little early advantage will definitely kind of hold them off into their strong late game. We'll see whether or not CLG can respond.
Cutie Pie getting a little bit too aggressive, trying to get some pot shots on Double Lift, but he's paying the price now. Double Lift, he wants it. He wants that kill. Gets the flash in. One more auto attack. Well, no, we got the Summoner heal. We still have one more from Locust. Can he bob it in time? Very low. Oh, and we got the kill.
But we do have a lot of damage coming up here. Here's the Karthus ultimate.
ult.
Can Lucas finish
No,
him off?
but here's
We actually have
Voyboy.
Voyboy with the teleport, able to get the double kill to finish it off for his team.
We still actually had a Summoner heal on Locust. Chose not to use it. I think we could have saved Cutie Pie there and still have gotten both those kills with the teleport in.
It would have been tough because Cutie Pie definitely wanted to get that range away from Vayne and wasn't in range for that heal. Tarek, couldn't catch up to him, so Cutie Pie, recognizing he was done, turning back into him. But Voyboy off to a huge start. And that's when we've seen Dignitas having the most success when Voyboy gets off to a big start. 3-0 so far on Jax as that really strong carry. It'll be interesting to see how CLG deals with that. But we actually see mid, Big Fat actually almost picking off Scar with the Flash Frost. Did have him walled off. The Flash Frost would have sealed the deal. And then actually Jax turning on to St. Vicious. He will be able to get out of there. And then Jax will go back up top and go for that farm.
Jax, he's got about 1,000 gold on him. He's going to be going ahead and buy himself something nice. Big Fat doing some counter jungling in the meantime. Everyone's a little bit scattered after that last team fight, but now we see Hotshot going back up the top. He did have a little bit of an advantage there because Jax was gone, so he could go ahead.
But we actually see the stun onto Double Lift, getting some nice harass from Cutie Pie and Locust. They're definitely kind of low down there when Karthus' ultimate's back up. We'll see whether or not we see a Mundo gank, a little tower dive. But there's once again a stun onto Locust, and just again, really effective harass from Kog'Maw onto Vayne, has that range, and then Janna without the heal.
Dignitas is being super aggressive here bottom lane, but they have the ward coverage to get away with it. Tribush and ward right in front of Dragon. A pink ward at that. So they can just go ahead, push as long as they want, as long as they have the ward coverage. If Shyvana decides to wander on down, it's like, we're done. We're done for now. We'll just go ahead and back away.
Yeah, and looking at the items right now, I mean, Dignitas, 2k gold advantage already. We actually see Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie. Shyvana is coming up the lane. There's the whirlwind from Chowster. The flash ultimate, and Double Lift going to be getting some nice damage on the Cutie Pie. He should go down. There's the exhaust. We do have the kill, and now he's rolling after Tarek. Not going to be able to get it, but even so, the kill on Cutie Pie, great damage from Double Lift early on.
And I was saying, I guess the ward coverage, the wards are now gone, but we had Double Lift, we had St. Vicious coming in from behind the tower. Not a whole lot you can do about that. So I think it may be in Dignitas' best interest to just maybe not be as aggressive bot lane from here on if they still have a tower by the time they get back.
There's just so much movement speed on this CLG team. Shyvana, definitely an extremely fast jungler. We see Jax jumping on Hotshot for a second top, but Shyvana, coupled with the passive from Janna, definitely has that movement speed. And actually, we see I Will Dominate coming in this top lane. We will have a dive in this top lane. Karthus has his ultimate, and we'll see whether or not he goes down, taking the turret for a second.
The wave had to move up, so Dominate actually took a tower shot, let Hotshot know he's there, and the exhaust going down. Who's going to be taking most of the damage? Dominate got the cleaver off, so he's going to be taking a bit, but he's healing up. Scar now joining in the wall, not going where it needs to be, and Voyboy will get the rupture. He is popped up. Dom!
Yeah, and Dominate is also very low. Scar almost out of mana here. Hotshot trying to chase down Dominate, won't be able to get him, but able to get out of that gank with a kill is just absolutely huge. Really effective play by Hotshot there.
That rupture, man, just walked up right up to him and just ate him.
Yeah, and you saw him just kiting around constantly around the turret. Dignitas couldn't really get the cleave angles that they want, couldn't chase him down, get the damage that they want, so taking a little bit too much damage. But Anivia walling off Scar a little bit, getting some nice burst damage in mid as well.
So teleport going down bot lane. Hotshot's going to be defending that wave. Going to be going nice run, but we see Chowster and Double Lift actually up top lane, taking that tower.
And that's really key for CLG. We've seen all this tournament, they kind of running teams that don't have the best pushing capabilities, when we've got a standoff. Vayne, short range. We do have lots of fight control, but Dignitas has the clearing capability. They would be able to kind of stall out those pushes a little bit. So it's really key for CLG to take this early advantage, get that map control so they can continue being aggressive. And we'll see, whether or not they group up for this next dragon. It will be up in about a minute now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well QPie will be doing against Hotshot here in bot lane. Hotshot's got 3 levels on him, 5 stacks for his feast. Never mind, we got the 6th. Full stacks on the feast. He's got a lot of extra health, extra tanky right now. How much extra health is that? 720 bonus health right now on Cho.
And the key is Hotshot, farming extremely well in that top lane. Jax roaming a little bit, was able to pick up some kills, but a little bit behind as far as Hotshot's concerned. So not as fed as you would normally feel when you have 3 kills, but he's definitely still extremely strong and going to be very strong coming into this mid game.
So about we're almost 15 minutes in. We got some ward coverage here around Dragon. So it looks like Dignitas Locust is here, just cleaning things up, making sure everything's fine. But CLG is now starting to group up. And we see Vayne mid looking to defend the pushes. Big Fat's actually roaming up top lane to push that wave in. Skara wandering alone, just trying to see if anyone's in their jungle with those lay wastes. Hotshot putting some wards by himself down here around Dragon. That cleaver actually doing quite a big deal. That cleaver does percentage-based damage, so it's actually going to be really effective against Cho.
Yeah, and I think Mundo is generally as a champion, he is that really strong HP tank. When you have these magic damage champions like Cho'Gath, like Anivia, Mundo can kind of survive through some of their bursts, doesn't have to worry so much about the true damage from Feast, but we do see CLG kind of grouping up here, trying to stall this dragon from Dignitas, and we do have Voyboy, his teleport is up, so Dignitas will want to stall for a little bit, see if Voyboy can push down that top tower, and then still be ready to engage for a fight.
They're trying to drag, for a second I thought they were trying to drag the dragon out of the pit, but they're just trying to take all the wards out of the area from CLG, walled off.
But
Dignitas
CLG
can't get back to defend their mid tower in time. Wonderful wall for Anivia, is actually very low with the stun gang. 3 members of Dignitas. They will not go ahead and engage on that, but that tower took quite a bit of damage from that wall.
But we have Hotshot coming in, actually not going to throw off a rupture, almost seeing an engage there, but Voyboy is going to be able to get that top tower, but once again, aggressive play from CLG. They do have kind of a health advantage right now. Actually, with the Taric heals, they can sustain extremely well. So Dignitas is actually just going to come right in for this dragon, and CLG definitely not going to be able to defend it. There's just too much clearing speed for Dignitas. They will get that dragon for a continued gold advantage.
They put the CV down. They had an idea there, but it's just a little bit too late. Dignitas 4 members will return to mid lane to push, and Voyboy he's just doing his own thing. How much gold does he have right now? He's got 1,500, so it's going to be something nice for him. And Dignitas 4 members pushing it down the mid tower. Almost everyone in the game is here except for Voyboy, but he's very accessible. Teleport to a minion, and he can be there in an instant.
Yeah, and with the range on QDPie, they can get pot shots on the towers extremely easily. Skara has that wall to kind of allow them to disassociate fights, allows them to kite some. Anivia can do the exact same thing if Dignitas is trying to chase, but right now, Dignitas definitely comfortable with just sitting back, farming into that later game.
Double F's going to take this opportunity to farm some of these creeps down the bot lane and let that lane push. Got 2 Dorans, and we're working towards the Bloodthirster. We're almost there. QDPie thinking he's got the same idea, so he's going to be returning bot lane as well. Janna and Nivea in mid, pushing the lane. They want to get that last bit of damage on that tower. They want to take that thing down, but Scar is here. He can clear waves pretty effectively, but the wall keeping him in just a little bit closer. CLG does have to back off for the time being.
Yeah, so Dominate going to sit there and, hold off that wall some. We do see a lot of damage from Double Lift. Oh, wow, almost being able to grab, I'm a QDPie there. He was against the wall, but not having good vision, didn't want to run into Lucas. But once again, it's that, Cog build, going for the Zeal into the fast Phantom Dancer, recognizes that, you just want some utility, you want some kiting potential for those fights because you already have the damage.
Voyboy taking the opportunity to farm some of the jungle creeps as well, while Hotshot's doing a little bit of free farming on his own. We got a nice little, push. I'll push this wave, you push back. And Dominate now wandering over around Baron. We did see some pings from Dignitas around Baron earlier. We got the wall, making sure no one's in the bush. We know CLG is nearby.
Yeah, and I actually really like that we have a Shurelya's on Cho'Gath that's, kind of usually viewed as a support item, but we will see a double Shurelya's most likely. And because CLG doesn't have the best initiation, they need to get a wall off or a Flash Frost from Anivia, and that's how they get their engage. They want to have that speed. Actually, we have the wall off on Skara, so nice damage going off there. St. Vicious not going to go in for it, seeing I will dominate there, but just continuing to pressure this mid tower.
We got Voidboy still up top, and CLG, I think, are looking to take this tower on this push. You got 3 members. Dominate's the only one defending, and will go down pretty easy. And top lane, we got Voidboy actually in chase with Hotshot. He has to pop the Shurelya's to run away. But yeah, we got CLG taking the mid tower. All 3 tier 1 towers for Dignitas are down. So good job for CLG keeping that pressure up.
Yeah, Mundo has that early oracles. He did get it around 10 minutes, so wants to make sure that CLG can't take too much map control, because now with all these towers down, we will see a lot more aggressive warding from CLG, but because Mundo has that kind of counter, he knows that they can still safely farm and just kind of sit back.
Anivia walled by Skara. He's getting those layaways in, brought down to below half, but the wall keeping him in a little bit closer, but the minion wave will be gone in a moment. QtPie actually taking a few free tower hits. Backing off, but once again, the tug of war continues in mid, while we have bot lane Dominate and Doublelift facing off, and we're actually going to give the red to Voyboy. Yeah, he can get in there with the leap strike, he can proc the red, slow him down just a little bit. That may be what he needs to finish off Hotshot next time they fight.
Well, and the big thing is Jax is a champion. He's one of the strongest duelists in the game, so with the teleport on Voyboy, they want to split push him. We do have a ward there from Hotshot. Oh. Jax almost able to take it down, but not going to be able to without the pink. We actually have Mundo chasing down Doublelift here. He throws off the ultimate. We'll be able to get some cleaves, but Doublelift getting some effective damage here, and actually Voyboy teleporting in. So now that we have the come in from Hotshot as well, there's the rupture. Doublelift taking a lot of damage from Karthus, is very close to going down, but can they pick up Voyboy first? Doublelift does go down. Locust here as well, so this is going to turn onto CLG. Hotshot definitely going to go down. Very effective play from, we actually have the flash out. Can he get away? He's actually very close to Karthus not coming in, and Voyboy going to try and get that jump. Doesn't have the range. Karthus now cutting off Hotshot. Will be able to get the wall and hold him off here, but Big Fat is here as well. Not going to be able to get in. Can they actually slow down Big Fat? We have the exhaust coming down. So Big Fat, we have the flash from QtPie over that wall. They are chasing after him. St. Vicious onto with Shyvana onto Dignitas Skara. They are going to chase away, but I don't think we're going to have a kill. But actually, Anivia almost picking him up, and Jax almost grabbing Big Fat. Big Fat will go down to Shyvana, and they are backing off here. But Kog'Maw still with that range damage. We have another Flash Frost from Anivia, but here's the egg. They're going to be able to take it down. So a huge, just long fight, but one for Dignitas.
I thought QtPie and Skara were going to be goners for sure in that one, but I think the Janna ult from Chaucer may have saved them a little bit. They pushed him a little bit too far away, and that's a very tricky corner. And if you're fighting like in the Wraith It, if you have a Janna ult there, you're going to push him over the forest to safety.
Yeah, and we saw that wall from Anivia, usually really great at, disengaging fights. We do have great reset with Anivia's wall and with Janna, but there, Dignitas just coming extremely aggressively. Lots of movement with the flash from QtPie, has the range, with Voyboy continuing to jump, so able to chase them down and pick up a couple of kills.
So we did see the Trinity Force finish on Jax. He's got a nice little bit of everything. Some extra health, some extra mana. We got the proc, we got the slow, we got the crit. We got a whole bunch of other things, and it's a triangle. People love triangles. I love triangles. You love triangles?
Triangles are okay. I'm good with triangles.
I know Freak likes those.
Yeah. But
yes, he does.
Anyway, I was saying earlier, Voyboy has that teleport, is a really strong duelist, so giving him that red allows him to have that control. And actually, we see Dignitas coming in extremely aggressively on this Baron. They have a lot of damage. It's going to go down very quickly. Hotshot was bottom. He doesn't have his teleport up, so CLG trying to stall, but it's going to go down extremely quickly. There's actually the wall off from Big Fat LP. We'll see whether or not they can take this.
Dignitas are all in the pit. They got Dragon pretty convincingly. Not a whole lot CLG could have done about that. Now Dominate leading the charge. We are seeing a little bit of a split here. So we see Dominate and QtPie going back to base. Voyboy, Locust, and Scar taking the other long way around. So it looks like they're just going to be content with going back, regrouping, possibly buying a few things, and then I think we might see them pushing it mid, pushing bot, trying to get past that tier 1 tower there.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely one of the strengths of their team is their pushing capability. So we will see with this regen whether or not they try and aggressively go for mid or just kind of try and sit back, farm even more to late game. They'll probably be looking to push here, but with Karthus, Kog'Maw, Voyboy on Jax, Mundo, all 4 of those champions are extremely aggressive at taking Baron. So Dignitas, recognizing the slight advantage and just able to hop in there, and they are actually grouping to see if they can grab this dragon or maybe just invade a little bit. We'll see. Cog definitely has the range to take down towers extremely effectively. Mid tower is very low.
So Dignitas, they have this. They have a pretty healthy wave. Mid tower tier 1 for CLG is halfway done, but we do have Anivia clearing the wave pretty quickly. Scar trying to get some damage in while he can. Tornado going down just to dissuade them just slightly, but we do see St. Vicious. He's a little bit too far out. We got pings going down. Voyboy is in the neighborhood. They know. We have some pings from CLG. At they have an idea. They have an inkling. But Dominate now left to defend the mid. And Blue can be passed over to Skara very shortly. There it is.
Yeah, and it should be interesting as the game progresses. Right now, Skara definitely low on mana. Needs to constantly be spamming. But Skara with that mana heavy build, as the game progresses, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they pass that Blue onto Cog. Definitely benefits from it extremely well, having the cooldown reduction on his W and then being able to spam his ultimate for that poke.
Dominate taking care of both of those wards in the bush there from CLG, right next to each other, very convenient. And whenever you have an Oracles, if you have it on your support or your jungler, let them take it. Some extra gold for them helps out immensely in the end.
Oh, but we actually have the wall off. Cutie Pie getting caught with the flash thrust, but no follow-up from CLG. Shyvana is bottom, and Hotshot is, he knows his teleport's almost up, so Voyboy is going to be up as well. Both of them know that they have the split timer there.
Voyboy is trying to take a few free shots on the tower, but St. Vicious not having any of that, but we do have a ping over from CLG. They did CV. Dignitas is red. They know they're grabbing it right now. Cutie Pie is going to have it for himself once we get those team fights. Once he gets the range he needs, any member of CLG, they will be slowed. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to get away and easier for him to get the mortar shots.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He has the range, but Shyvana definitely a strong gap closer for taking down Kog'Maw in those team fights. We'll see, if Kog'Maw gets picked, very quickly the fights could turn to CLG. And just like we saw there when they're trying to push up to the tower, the range in Nivea's wall is long enough that you can pick off that Kog'Maw. But Dignitas once again coming down mid. We should be able to see a tower here, but the great clearing capability from Big Fat is able to stall it just even more, able to clear those creep waves, not allow Dignitas to take an advantage.
That Baron buff from Dignitas is actually almost gone. We got about like a sixth of it left. We still got some board clearing going on, but the push from Dignitas has not been all too successful. Anivia's been mid this entire time, clearing the waves immediately with the ultimate, and Dignitas can't get the damage they need. We got the rupture coming in from Hotshot. Everyone's silenced. They're taking the tower shots the entire time, all going on to Skara. Karthus, not the best tanker for a tower, but Cutie Pie getting damage while he can, and I think Baron buff should be gone by the next time they go in on this tower.
But they will be able to get this tier 1 tower, and with some of CLG going back, they should be able to put some pressure on the second one because Shyvana is bottom. We'll see whether or not Jax goes to slow her down. He does have his teleport up now, so he is heading over that way. But actually Dignitas, because the Baron is down, they are very comfortable with sitting back, taking that slight advantage, and then continuing to farm.
Yeah, if you're pushing a tower top or bot, if you're hitting up to the tier 2, this bush right here is actually a very popular hiding spot. So if you have like a skill shot, you just fire in. If you think someone's recalling in there, you can actually get a kill sometimes.
Which spot was that?
The bush right
oh, yeah.
here. That side bush right there, a very popular hiding spot.
Yeah, but Vayne picking up that red buff has a significant amount of damage right now. The stack's sticking on the Bloodthirster since that change, so that does very well with all of her burst damage scaling off of that physical damage. And we do have 3 members of CLG coming in this bottom lane. Voyboy really just too safe right now with the Ghost. He is going to back off there.
So I think now we're waiting a little bit. We're just playing a little bit passive. We're waiting for Baron to come back up. We're waiting for Dragon to come back up. And actually got Voyboy just getting St. Vicious just away a little bit. And we have Dragon Baron should be coming up very soon, and actually got St. Vicious here now having to run away from Voyboy. We got the Sheen proc, the nice little red aura is when he's going to be doing a little bit extra damage with his next attack.
But here you can see the concern for CLG at this point. They don't have, really great teamfight initiation without picking someone off with Anivia. If they can pick someone off, that's huge, but they don't really have the gap closers without those Shirelias. So if we have the kite with Karthus's wall, Dignitas can just, reset those fights, kind of ignore it for a little bit, and then we don't have the pushing power for CLG. So right now, they kind of just have to have a wait-and-see mentality, see if they can pick anyone off. We do have a couple of members from Dignitas coming into this bottom lane, going to be surrounding St. Vicious here. Hotshot is here as well. Voidboy taking some damage. St. Vicious going to Dragon Form out of there and going to be safe, but this will be another tower for Dignitas.
Dignitas will swoop right in. We still got enough minions. We're just going to go ahead and grab that real quick. Are they going to push there? We got some pings for Dignitas to retreat back. Just going to go ahead. They've taken their objective. They're going to back off. And now we got three towers from both teams down at the moment. It's in terms of defenses, in terms of towers, are pretty even. Gold not too far apart. Like 2-3K separating these teams. But Dignitas is ahead in kills. A lot of them, actually, Jax has been a part of every single one.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely farmed right now. Catching up to Hotshot, with the CS just constantly split pushing and to go along with his kills, so he's going to be a serious threat. It'll be interesting to see, Jax has that capability of shutting down Vayne in the fights with the stun. Vayne does have the cleanse, but even so, if they take down Jax, who's going to be extremely tanky in these fights, then they're still going to have to deal with Karthus. They're going to have to deal with Kog'Maw. So who do you focus as CLG? It's really going to come down to whether or not CLG can burst someone down. They have a lot of burst damage with, Cho'Gath's Feast, with, Vayne. So it'll be key for them to just pick people off once again. In a head-to-head fight, CLG definitely at a disadvantage, though, and even more so as the game progresses.
We also see we got Jax grabbing the Hextech Gunblade. We got a lot of sustain there. We got the life steal. We got the spell vamp. He's going to stay in team fights a little longer, but Scar actually getting caught out by Anivia. We got the wall. We got the stun. And he decides to flash in the middle of it. We cannot get the AoE on anyone else, so everyone from CLG has decided to back up, but we got the ult from Karthus trying to do what he can. Voidboy teleporting in, going out on St. Vicious. We got the Janna ult, clearing everyone away, and Locust being singled out by CLG, but now double up in the back of the line, and PewDiePie going way too far forward. Will die as well. We got a little bit extra tree damage, and now Locust actually dying as well. Now Voidboy can't get what he needs, and Dominate is left to run away on his own. 1-4-4.
And Vayne, with that cleanse, with the tumble, with the condemn, was just able to keep himself out of range. Very surprising, Dignitas not able to get in on him, but being able to pick off Karthus very early, turned it for him. PewDiePie getting his, nice damage for a while there, so it looked like he'd be fine, but the great control that Anivia brings, they had those disables up front. We did see the exhaust coming off with Shyvana onto PewDiePie, and now we do have a Baron for CLG, and it will almost certainly go to them. Dignitas, almost no chance
steal this
of
with the
stealing
cleaver.
this.
For the love of God, steal this with the cleaver to be hilarious now. If you sold out with a cleaver, I would have been so good, but CLG, they've secured a Baron for themselves, and you know what? Chaucer came back just in time.
And so now with that Baron buff, we'll see what CLG does with it. They will want to try and, go for map control. It will still be difficult for them to push down towers. It depends on how kind of ballsy they're feeling, whether or not they think they can just run right up to the towers and just tank them with Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is extremely tanky, though, so that will be interesting to see, whether he just decides to run up and tank it for him, because then they do have enough damage to burst it down. But I think putting themselves in that short melee range for Karthus to have that great wall set up, have that AoE damage, might be kind of tricky for them. So CLG definitely wants to take Dragon, see if they can take some buffs. Blue buff should be up shortly for Dignitas, I believe. Red buff, Cog was able to get it, but we'll see whether or not they have a push. Actually, Dignitas going back, so CLG will be able to take down this mid tower.
CLG, we have the minion wave that we need, and if we need to tank out a tower straight out, Hotshot GG, he's got a fair amount of health on him. He's pretty big. He's pretty huge. He's died twice. Those stacks been sticking up at 6 for the time being, and they have Baron buff. They have all the advantage they need with a minion wave to just go ahead and pressure down these towers. Dignitas has no choice but to defend against this mid push, and we're just going to see them taking more objectives. We may see them wandering down, possibly going to take the dragon real quick, but I think we're actually just going to go straight out for this bot tower.
And you also have to consider, the more and more I'm seeing what CLG's doing, they're really playing this matchup extremely effectively. We have 2 Randuin's Omens, so that slow is really going to shut down a lot of Cog's damage. And then Hotshot, knowing he's already tanky, doesn't want them just ignoring him, goes with actually a blue pot and then the Wit's End. So he's going to have a lot of anti-carry kind of harass damage, able to get up in Cog's face. If Cog is kind of threatened, not able to deal that damage, then very quickly we could see Vayne clearing up the fight.
We got the mini wave pushing, but it has been cleared. CLG, we got the wall, trapping a few members of Dignitas in tower, 350 health about. Next mini wave, we should get the 1, 2, 3 shots we need to take down that tower. Clearing the wave quite quickly. Will Dignitas decide to back off? They will. They will let that tier 2 tower fall, while keeping CLG from getting any further in, but this wave continues to push. Are they going to switch places? Yes, they are. They're going to go ahead and try their hand at mid once again.
Yeah, and those Anivia walls so well placed this entire game, being able to catch off Karthus and Cog. I mean, those are their targets. So not going in for the kills, recognize, hey, they've got the Baron, they don't want to be too aggressive here, but able to wear Dignitas down to the point where they can't defend this, and so as a result, a couple of towers going down for CLG.
Double Lefties go ahead, plug away at this tower. Dignitas can't even get back there in time to defend. Vayne just pretty much on her own taking that one out, and the wave continues to push. Dignitas still on the defensive. Baron buff, we got about 75% done. We still got a little bit of time, we could take this tower with it as well. But yeah, CLG, if they realize something's not working immediately, it's like, hey, we've lost our wave, let's relocate, let's switch places, let's keep Dignitas on their toes, keep them moving.
Yeah, and because, Void Boy, he is pretty, beefy right now. A lot of his damage is going to be magic damage. He seems like a physical carry, but he does deal magic damage. Karthus has a lot of magic damage right now, so we do have, the Negatron Cloak on Vayne. We'll be able to be a little bit upfront since they know that they're going to have to deal with that damage because Vayne is such short range. But CLG able to take a couple of towers. We'll see whether or not we start a split push. I think Jax is just a little bit too strong at shutting down Cho'Gath's split push at this point. They don't want him to kind of duel off. But CLG once again taking this dragon, able to take control as far as gold for the game.
Pings going down from CLG to the mid tower, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next objective. From CLG, the Baron buff has expired. Baron should be respawning in a few minutes, and if we don't see CLG decide to pressure down any more towers, that should be where our next big fight is. Big Fat Anivia once again so good at clearing those minion waves. We're going to see that pushing up, and Dignitas, despite the fact that the Baron is up, they're still playing it pretty defensive. They want to make sure they have vision. They want to know where CLG is, because right now they do not.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. Once again, just CLG wants to be unkillable in these fights. They want to be able to focus people down. They do have great single target, kind of damage with Vayne, with Cho'Gath's burst, with Anivia's burst. And so Janna going with the Aegis, going with the Iron Solari, we'll be able to prevent some of that damage from Dignitas, allow CLG to just become too tanky for Dignitas to deal with. And if they can disrupt Cog's kind of rhythm, then very quickly those fights turn to CLG.
So we got the wave pushing in. CLG not going to be able to do a whole lot with this. I took a quick look at Void Boy's items. It looks like he's going to be doing the Guardian's Angel next. Try and get himself a little bit extra life in these team fights if he does die. He gets in there, you get the leap strike. You're going to be in the middle of all these fights. You're going to be a prime target, and they know Jax is capable of ridiculous amounts of damage. So he knows he's going to be focused later on down the line.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely wants to be extremely aggressive and go after Vayne, so he needs that survivability.
Double walls going down. Skara, he knows he wants to see if he can't trap, get the slow off anyone in CLG while they're messing around in their jungle. I think that's right here in the bush. Both teams contesting here over red buff, and Void Boy actually getting a little bit way too far out, and he does not have the time to get back to the rest of his team. And Skara now also away from the rest of Dignitas. Can we get a little bit more? Dominate cannot get away either. St. Vicious cleaning up. Locust and Cutie Pie, will he be able to back out? No, he will not.
Wow, so
Triple kill for Saint
Vicious just kind of 3v1'd some of Dignitas. You saw Cutie Pie trying to get that red buff sent from Saint, came up a little bit too close, so Shyvana just completely separating the team. That's one of the strengths of Shyvana, but I was so surprised by how long Saint was able to stick around. Cog not able to deal enough damage, so an inhibitor going down for Dignitas. And I don't know, with that advantage, they can definitely, push separate lanes. They don't have to worry about the fact that they don't, about stalling under the turrets anymore, like we saw a second ago, because they were able to pick off Dignitas in their jungle.
We may have this huge minion wave that might actually take out this tier 2 tower here, but Dignitas is now coming back up. We actually got teleport in. Where's he going? Voyboy actually trying to get in the jungle. But Chowster saw, put the tornado down, dissuade him just a little bit, but actually will Voyboy find him. He's in the bush, he's recalling, we'll be able to get him. No, Chowster leaves. Leaf strike going down. Can we get the stun? Yes, we can. Chowster, what options do you have? You can flash away. We got the tornado coming in, but Voyboy still in pursuit. Wants to get that kill, wants that Oracles. Backing out.
Yeah, Chowster's definitely going to be fine there, and it goes, to CLG's strength that they are very strong in the jungle when you have those walls. And actually, we see Cho'Gath and St. Vicious here a little bit caught out, but they're tanky enough. They have the rest of their team there. It's not that big of a deal. Dignitas definitely doesn't really want to engage on those champions. But when CLG can fight in the jungle, they can just wall off, half of Dignitas. And those walls, a little bit more effective than I expected, but just, really great control from Anivia the entire game.
And Nivea doing quite a bit of work. 1, 1, and 9. All those assists doing it pretty well. We got the Zonias. We got a Void Staff. Magic Resist on Dignitas. So I'm trying to see. We got a few boots. We got some No Magic Mantles. You also got the Rod of Ages as well. Getting some extra AP on the bird. How much AP to be precise? 255.
Yeah, right now, with the Oracles on Chowster, CLG can kind of bait Dignitas into a fight. Then we will have the Anivia wall to cut off the entrances to the river. So they are actually just going for it extremely aggressively. They don't have vision currently of Dignitas. We'll see, what Big Fat's going to do here, whether he can get an effective wall off, but they are actually going to turn into him. There's the Shirelius hot shot, going to throw off the Rupture, not actually picking anyone off. The Anivia wall will separate the team, but not able to grab anyone, so Dominate will be safe there, and CLG going right back to Baron.
Not exactly the greatest Anivia wall in the world, but Dignitas now, they're going in, and Voyboy goes straight for the backline hot shot. Out in front, will be falling first, but Voyboy, we have the GA now, he's going to be coming back to life. St. Vicious being focused by 3 members of Dignitas. Dominate falling, and Jax is not going to be able to live through that one, but Dignitas, we only have 2 members left running from CLG with Baron buff. Trying to get a few lay waste as they're leaving, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to get away. Locust actually being focused down by Double Lift. The shots will manage to kill him. Skara has to retreat towards enemy base. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend.
No, that's almost certainly going to be a GG for CLG. And what we saw there was St. Vicious just way too tanky with that Randuin Zoman, has the slow on Kog'Maw's attack speed with the armor. Just incredible job by Saint being able to 3v1 them, separate them in the fight. And CLG going to take game number 1 with this push on the Nexus. We'll see how Dignitas returns, but awesome job by CLG. We see the Monsoon throwing off Skara there, but GG for game 1.
Game number 1, CLG takes it. GG. So I think after that display, do you think we can expect a Vayne ban?
I would almost more so expect an Anivia ban. I was, just really surprised. Shyvana, once again, now 8-0 in this tournament.